Hello and welcome. My name is Natalie from the Institutional Banking team in Australia, and thank you for joining me for our Accounts Payable in ANZ Transactive Global Training webinar. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that I'm joining you from Perth, Western Australia, the lands of the Widgets people of the Noongar Nation. I also acknowledge the traditional owners on the lands of which you are joining from today. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and to any Indigenous peoples from the various lands joining us today. Our training webinars are designed to help you unlock the full potential and get the most out of ANZ Transactive Global, our digital web and mobile banking channel. Through a single interface, you can access common services such as cash management, trade finance, loans, commercial cards, foreign exchange, and data insights. In this webinar, I'll be taking you through maximising the potential of ANZ Transactive Global, with a special focus on several features particularly relevant to those working in accounts payable, such as our various payment types and creation methods, setting up your workspace with some relevant widgets to quickly locate the features you commonly access, and a number of other features to help you perform your role. Following today's session, I would encourage you to view our ANZ Digital Services help page for further information on the topics that we discuss, as well as revisiting our previous webinars, and I will show you how to find these at the end of today's session. You will see the Teams chat function is disabled. However, you can ask questions using the Q&A tab, which is located at the top of the screen. My colleagues are online and will answer your questions as we go. Today's training session is being recorded. The video and a copy of the question and answers, including any questions we're unable to answer during the session, will be published in ANZ Digital Services Help in the coming days, so you can rewatch or share with colleagues who weren't able to join us live. And the last thing before we start, this session is being conducted using a training environment, which means some of the screens and the system behaviour may appear a little different to what you see in your live ANZ Transactive Global site. So please keep that in mind as we go. For anything outside of ANZ Transactive Global, we will show screens from Digital Services Hub. Let's start today's webinar by setting up our workspace with some widgets and shortcuts. These tools enable quick and easy access to the information most relevant to you. On the right side of the menu, you will notice an empty white space, and this is known as the ANZ Transactive Global Workspace. To add content to your workspace, click Add to Workspace and select a thumbnail. Today I'm going to add Favourite Accounts, Net Position, Initiate Payments, and payment status. And let's now take a look at each widget. Favourite accounts. This provides a snapshot of the account details and balances most relevant to you. Here you can add up to 20 favourite accounts. The icons across the top of the widget allow you to quickly download a report, refresh the data, and adjust the settings. The Net Position widget. Here you can view aggregated balances across different accounts you're entitled to view. Choose the type of graphs you wish to display and how you want the accounts to be grouped. Hover over the graph to obtain more information about the net position, such as the account balance. Initiate payments. You can provide a convenient means to initiate a payment. You can choose between using a template, uploading a file, creating a payment manually, or using a pass payment. And payment status. Here you can view the current status of the payments that you have created. Click any of the statuses to see the details of the payments from the current payment screen. Your workspace can be customized by dragging and dropping the widgets to your preferred location on the page, by clicking on the blue banner, resizing the content window by dragging the resize icon on the bottom right of the content window, and you can remove content from the workspace by clicking on the X on the top right of the content window. I would also now like to show you how you can stay up to date with activities most relevant to you by enabling notifications and alerts. Navigate to your user ID settings, which presents as your user ID, and this is located in the application banner in the top right. Select the submenu Notifications and Alerts. This is where you can enable or disable payment-related activities. To receive an email notification, switch the toggle to on for the topics that are relevant to you. For example, ad hoc beneficiary used, transaction processed, beneficiary update, and payment released to the bank for processing. Also, if you're a payment approver, I would recommend switching on a transaction pending authorization notification, and you will be alerted to payments that require approval. Click Save. Please note that email notifications are available to customers in all geographies. However, the alerts option is currently only available in Australia for Pay To agreements. For our customers in China, India, Philippines, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Vietnam, email notifications and alerts are available for all payment and account preferences. Also, from your user ID, you can manage your application preferences. This time, select Settings and Preferences to view and manage your time zone. This will ensure the payment approval cutoff time shown will be in your local time. You can also set your report retrieval code. If you have elected for a report to be sent to your registered email address, you will require a report retrieval code. This code acts as a password to open the encrypted reports. Enter the code you wish to use to open the reports. And also Currency View, where you can select your preferred currency. Select Save to save the changes. Another feature within your user ID is you can set your language, your homepage, and view the last 3 times you logged into the system. To set the landing page, this can be selected on any page that you would like as your landing page, which will display every time you log in. For example, let's navigate away from this screen. Select Payments from the main menu, and the Create Payments submenu will display. If I now click the User Settings, then Set the Landing Page, this Create Payments page will now be my landing page next time I log in. Let's now take a look at payments, and I would like to refresh you on some of the different payment options. So from this Create Payment submenu currently on the screen, it displays the types of payments and methods you can use to create a payment based on your user entitlements. A payment can be made by either selecting a creation method or a payment type. Creation methods include a payment template, using a payment file, or using a past payment. Or from payment types, account transfer, domestic payment, international payment, and the next 2 payment types are restricted to users with the appropriate permissions, a domestic salary payment and the international salary payment, which is currently available for our customers in China and will be coming soon for our customers in Vietnam and Singapore. Pay bill, which is available for customers in Australia, and lastly, the multi-bank payment. The article I'm sharing with you now from ANZ Digital Services Help provides a brief description of each of the payment types. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a payment template and a payment from uploading a file. Let's start with creating a payment template. So from the Payments menu, select Templates. Click New and select the payment type. Today, I'll create a domestic payment template. Select the division, and if required, followed by the account and the payment method, and I will select a direct entry payment. Give the template a name, a description, and a reference. And this reference will appear within the narrative on the funding account, the beneficiary statement, and payment reporting. If required, select a confidential data group and untick the disable beneficiary changes for payments created from this template indicator to allow beneficiaries to be added or edited, or leave it ticked so that no changes can be made to the beneficiaries. Click Add to add any beneficiaries to the payment from the drop-down, and any beneficiaries suitable for this payment from your beneficiary list will appear. Or click New to add a new beneficiary. Today I will select an existing beneficiary. Enter an amount and click the Details icon, where you can update any beneficiary fields, and then select Save and Close. Add any additional beneficiaries if required, and click Review and Submit. Review the template and click Submit. The template will now be submitted for approval and will show in your list of templates in a pending approval status. Once the template is approved, a payment can be created in a couple of ways. You can either tick the checkbox from the Actions button and select Create Payment, or you can select the template and from the control bar select Create Payment. We can also navigate to the Create Payment menu. In the Payment Methods, select Use a Payment Template. Once selected, click Search, and any approved templates will display. Select the required template and click OK and follow the usual payment creation screens to update fields and submit to ANZ for processing. I would now like to demonstrate how to create a payment from a file upload. We can do this from the File Import Summary menu. Select Upload File. You can also do this from the Create Payment menu, selecting the Upload Payment File option. If required, select the division and select the file format type and the file encoding option from the drop-down options. Tick the checkbox if this is a salary payment, noting individual debits are not available for salary payments. And if required, tick Disable Beneficiary Details to prevent users from adding or editing any imported beneficiaries. However, you can still edit the amount or the payment reference for each beneficiary in the file. And I will show you in a moment how you can set this as a default when uploading files. If required, enter information in the additional fields and click Browse to search and select your locally saved payment file. Click Start Upload and the file will be validated, and when successfully uploaded, you can click Close. You can view the details of the file in the File Import Summary menu. Following the successful file upload, if the payment was successfully created, it can be viewed from the Current Payment menu, where you can review it and approve it for processing. The File Import Summary screen displays a list of imported files with a summary including the file type and name, the total number of transactions in the file, and the number of valid transactions, those that need repair or have been rejected. This list of files includes files we uploaded directly to ANZ Transactive Global, as we've just demonstrated, and also files uploaded via ANZ File Active. ANZ File Active Hybrid is where files can be processed in your systems via ANZ File Active and are then imported into ANZ Transactive Global for manual approval. The screen I'm displaying shows a number of files that have previously been uploaded to ANZ Transactive Global. The first file listed requires our attention. This file contains 3 transactions and 2 need repair. If I select this file and then click View Current Payments, this will take me to the Current Payments menu, and you will notice an alert on the left warning me that there is an error with this payment. Select the payment to view the error. Scroll down to the 2 beneficiaries in a needs repair status. Click Edit, and then click the details for each beneficiary, which will highlight what information is required. In this instance, the amount is required, so I can either enter the amount required and click Save, Or if this beneficiary is no longer required, I can tick the checkbox and click Remove to remove this beneficiary from the payment. Select Review and Submit, and then Submit. The payment will now move to a pending approval status, and approvers will need to approve this payment. Earlier, I recommended creating a default setting to disable beneficiary details. This can be put in place so beneficiaries cannot be modified outside of your ERP. To do this, an administrator can navigate to the Administration menu. Select Other Settings, then Division Settings. Select the required division. The Product Settings field contains a number of features you can enable or disable. And as you can see in my settings, the Disable Beneficiary Bank Changes for Payments is already selected for both templates and file imports. If you would like to make changes to this screen, from the control bar, click Edit and tick the checkbox as required. Click Save, and this change will now require approval based on your approval model. Once approved, all payments created from a file import and a template will be restricted, meaning new beneficiaries cannot be added to a payment and beneficiary details cannot be changed. Please note again that you can still change the amount and the lodgement reference for the beneficiary. I would now like to remind you of a few tips and tricks you may find helpful in your day-to-day work as an accounts payable officer. Our real-time payment tracking feature, available in Australia and New Zealand, provides an end-to-end view of the payment flow, as well as visibility of any fees and charges for international payments, real-time gross settlement payments in Australia, and same-day cleared payments in New Zealand. It's important to note that tracking and fee information availability is dependent on updates being provided by all banks in the payment chain. Only SWIFT GPI, which stands for Global Payment Innovation, compliant banks are obliged to send real-time updates on the payments that they process. To view payments available for tracking, from the main menu, select Payments. Then click Payment Tracking. The payment tracking screen displays a list of domestic and international payments successfully processed by ANZ in the last 30 days. Select the required transaction, and you will notice the status of the payment in the top left-hand corner. You can see this transaction is noted as being complete. Other status types include In Progress, which indicates one of the following scenarios has occurred. The payment is still en route to the beneficiary, or the payment is sent to a non-GPR compliant bank. Another status is Rejected, meaning the payment has been rejected by either the corresponding bank or the beneficiary bank. The payment I'm viewing is an international payment, and we can see the payment journey started with ANZ on May 2nd. It also arrived at the Bank of America on May 2nd. We can also see that there were no cumulative deduction charges for this transfer. This SWIFT payment tracking information can also be downloaded to PDF if required. You can also view the payment tracking information from your ANZ Transactive Global mobile app, and this feature is currently available for international payments only at this stage. Moving on to Past Payments menu. This is where you can search for payments that have been processed in ANZ Transactive Global in the last 24 months and are in a completed with error, or a bank rejected status. The page I am displaying shows the different search parameters. Let's search for transactions across a date range. Enter your date criteria, and you can also save your search if required by clicking Save. Give your search a name. Saved searches will show under the View drop-down for future use. Click Search, and the transactions for the search criteria will display. From here, all the current payments menu and MT103 message can be generated. Select an international payment in a completed status. Click the beneficiary and then click MT103, which will display in a PDF format. This will populate in your live site. However, in my site, the PDF does not populate. But here is a copy of an MT103 from our ANZ Digital Services help page. When creating payments that include foreign exchange, there are a number of options available for obtaining foreign exchange rates. For our customers in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and Hong Kong, you can choose between dynamic and contract. Create your foreign exchange payment. Enter the payment details, including the payment currency, the beneficiary, and the amount. You will notice the FX details field. Select the FX option that is required. Dynamic allows you to obtain real-time foreign exchange rates. And please note that a transactable daily mid-rate will be used to estimate the transaction value for the purpose of approval discretions and the available funds checking. The actual exchange rate for the transaction will be displayed when a trade or a contract is applied to the payment request, which I'll demonstrate shortly also. If contract is selected, after you have contacted your local ANZ Markets dealer to book a rate, the contract will appear in ANZ Transactive Global. Click Add FX Contract to add your contract ID and click OK. Enter the utilised amount and click Review and Submit. For our customers in India, Philippines and Vietnam, you will have access to Bankbook and Contract. Bankbook you will use this when you do not have an existing FX contract to readily use, or the value of the payment is less than or equal to the equivalent of $500,000. Upon submission of the payment, the bank will book a foreign exchange rate for the cross-currency payment, and in some cases, the rate will be booked after all the supporting documents attached to the payment are reviewed. Click Review and Submit. Review the payment and click Submit. The payment will now move to a pending approval status. It's important to note, if you have selected a dynamic rate, after the payment is fully approved, it will move to a needs rate status, and a user with the appropriate entitlements can lock in that dynamic rate. The payment approver can navigate to the current payment submenu, where you will notice the payment status. To complete the Get Rate step, select the payment. Click Get Rate. Just navigate to that payment that's in needs rate. Yep. Click the payment, click Get Rate from the control bar, and then click Get Rate again to display the details of the rate on the screen. And you'll now have 30 seconds to trade this rate. A confirmation pop-up will display, and the payment will change to Trade Successful before it begins processing. You can see the status hasn't changed for me, however, in your live site, this will change. And lastly, I would now like to take you through ANZ Digital Services Help that I've referred to during today's webinar. Simply click on the Help icon in the application banner from ANZ Transactive Global in your login, and this will open ANZ Digital Services Help in a new tab. ANZ Digital Services Help is an online self-service database of step-by-step guides, instructional videos, and frequently asked questions for our digital channels, including ANZ Transactive Global. ANZ Digital Services Help is broken into 3 segments: Search, Popular Topics, and Support Categories. Select the Search function to search for a specific area of interest. For example, I can type Payment Status to quickly view detailed information on payment statuses, including a brief description of each. Popular Topics. Here you can view and easily access the most commonly read topics by our customers, and I would like to highlight the File Format Guide tile. Once selected, this will display various file format guides, the specifications for each file available, relevant to the geography and the payment types. Also in the File Formats menu on the left, I would like to highlight the File Checker article. Click Check Files. The File Checker provides instructions on how to validate that your file meets the file format guidelines for ANZ FileActive and ANZ Transactive Global. The last segment in ANZ Digital Services Help is Support Categories. This includes all topics covered in ANZ Digital Services Help. Simply click on a topic of interest and all related articles will be available for review. I would like to highlight the Payments tile in particular. This includes valuable information to support you when creating and approving payments. In particular, the Processing and Cut-off Times article provides clear payment cut-off times relevant to your payment type in your geography. Another article worth calling out is the Payment Parameters article. This provides specific details and conditions that define how a payment is processed. For example, if I select my region, for each payment type, I can view the maximum payment value, provide a clear view of the number of days I can future date a payment, understand the maximum number of beneficiaries, and view the payment account format. And that brings us to the end of our Accounts Payable in ANZ Transactive Global training webinar. On the page I'm displaying is a list of our upcoming webinars together with a QR code to register for these events. A reminder that a recording of this session, as well as the Q&A, will be added to ANZ Digital Services Help in the coming days, should you wish to revisit or share with your colleagues. You can get to ANZ Digital Services Help by scanning the QR code currently on the screen, or by clicking on the Help icon next time you are signed into ANZ Transactive Global. I hope this session has been of value and I look forward to attending our future ANZ Transactive Global training webinars. Thank you and enjoy your day.